I'm sharing 15 life-changing homemaking secrets from Louisa May Alcott's Little Women in today's video. Hello everyone, Jennifer L. Scott here, and welcome back to the Daily Connoisseur. This is going to be part one of the 15 life-changing homemaking secrets I learned from Little Women. There's a lot of homemaking secrets, and I think the video is going to be quite long. So I'm going to split it up. We'll do the first 7 in this video, and in the next video you see, we will do the rest of the homemaking secrets. All right, if you're new to my channel, the reason why I go through these classic books is because I am rereading them again as an adult to my own children. And when you reread these books as an adult, you glean so much information from them. Anyway, I highly recommend that you do that with your children. But my girls and I finished Little Women a while ago. I've been meaning to do this video for a while. So let's jump into the secrets. Life-changing homemaking secret number 1 is that peace provides a pleasant home atmosphere. In chapter 1, Playing Pilgrims, Louisa May Alcott is establishing the characters. So she's describing the March family, and she also describes their home. So here's the description. It was a comfortable room, though the carpet was faded and the furniture very plain, for a good picture or two hung on the walls, books filled the recesses, chrysanthemums and Christmas roses bloomed in the windows, and a pleasant atmosphere of home peace pervaded it. So clearly we are not looking at a very wealthy family because, it's saying that the carpet was faded, the furniture was plain, there were a few good pictures on the walls. This is not an opulent space, but it sounds like a very homey and peaceful space, and peace pervaded the atmosphere. So these are things that we should look for in our own home, to have a peaceful atmosphere. That's why I love to put music on, peaceful music, and have a very calm and peaceful, serene space. I think it's very important for home life. Life-changing homemaking secret number 2 is that we should replace our leave me alone looks on our face as homemakers with can I help you looks. Now there's a caveat here, and bear with me. There's a lot of actual parenting advice in Little Women, and that's something that I will explore in a different way, but we're going to stick to the homemaking advice right now. So I felt like this really spoke to me. Okay, so I'm going to read it to you here. On page 14, when describing Marmee for the first time, it says, "Glad to find you so merry, my girls," said a cheery voice at the door, and actors and audience turned to welcome a tall, motherly lady with a "can I help you" look about her, which was truly delightful. She was not elegantly dressed, but a noble-looking woman, and the girls thought the gray cloak and unfashionable bonnet covered the most splendid mother in the world. Okay, so Marmee had a "can I help you" look on her face. Now, lest you start to think that Marmee is a saint, we're going to explore a few other things about her. But this really struck me because not only as a homemaker, but as an introverted homemaker with a large family, I am going to confess something to you. I often find myself having a "what do you want?" or "leave me alone" look on my face, or I might even say something like that, because I struggle with constantly helping people all day long. It's something that I personally struggle with. So I love that they describe Marmee as having a "can I help you" look. Now I have to put the caveat here because I don't want us to become martyrs as homemakers, where we're just constantly, how can I serve you literally all day long and you do nothing for yourself. So I want to put that in there. But I think the point here is that the March girls adored their mother. They call her the most splendid mother in the world. She's always there for them. She has that how can I help you look on her face, and I want that more for myself. The chapter goes on to say they couldn't get through the day without her smile and her wave, and her motherly face affected them like sunshine. So we have to pay attention to how our face is. It's important not to hide how we feel, but also what can we be grateful for, and can we reflect that in the expression on our face? Now, just in case you think Marmee is a saint, on page 75, Marmee has a shocking confession where she says she is angry nearly every day of her life. This is something that really surprised me, and I'm going to explore that separately, but I thought that I would put that in there. Marmee is not a saint, but she tries her best, and she struggles with a lot of issues in the book, with her husband being away at war, and with 4 rambunctious girls and a household to run. Life-changing homemaking secret number 3 is that homemakers need true breaks from homemaking and from the family. So here's another interesting insight into Marmee, who's quite a complex figure. Marmee admits on page 108 in chapter Experiments that she never truly enjoyed housekeeping. She doesn't even like it. Okay. So listen to this. Get what you like and don't disturb me. I'm going out to dinner and can't worry about things at home, said Mrs. March when Joe spoke to her. I never enjoyed housekeeping, and I'm going to take a vacation today and read, write, go visiting, and amuse myself. And I put in here in my notes, there's an exclamation point and a big ha, because here we think that she is this saintly woman, and she admits that she's angry every day of her life, A, and B, she doesn't even like housekeeping. So I think a lot of us find ourselves in this position where we like the very pleasurable aspects of housekeeping, like arranging flowers and decorating, but all of the day-to-day grind stuff, mopping the floors, cleaning up constantly. My thing is just cleaning the kitchen, just constantly doing the dishes and cleaning the kitchen. It's not enjoyable for her, and she admits that. And so how does she deal with that? She takes a break. She's like, I'm leaving. I'm doing the things I love. She's going to go away, read, write, go visiting, and amusing herself. And it's so important for us to do that as well, to take a day off, go be alone, or whatever it is. I have a friend that has a large family, and she tells me that once a week she goes to the park and reads a book. And I have other friends that deal with it in different ways too, but it is so important to take that break. Life-changing homemaking secret number 4 is that sometimes homemaking requires fresh eyes. So when we meet Laurie, and he lives in the mansion next door, so he comes from a very wealthy family. They have a fleet of maids, but yet his sitting room is still not quite right. It's a bit messy, and so he wants to tidy it up before the March sisters and everyone comes over to visit him. So Joe comes over and she straightens it out for him very quickly. So I'll read this to you. I'll write it up in 2 minutes, for it only needs to have the hearth brushed, so, and the things made straight on the mantelpiece, so, and the books put here, and the bottles there, and your sofa turned from the light, and the pillows plumped up a bit. Now then, you're fixed. And it goes on to say, and so he was, for as she laughed and talked, Joe had whisked things into place and given quite a different air to the room. Laurie watched her in respectful silence when she beckoned him to his sofa. He sat down with a sigh of satisfaction, saying gratefully, "How kind you are. Yes, that's what I wanted. Now please take the big chair and let me do something to amuse my company." So Laurie is relieved. Joe comes in, fresh eyes. She sees what's wrong with the sitting room, and in a flash, she's able to fix it. She plumps the cushions, rearranges the furniture, she puts little things just so. So sometimes it does take a new eye to come into our space to fix things up. We get used to seeing things the way they are. I love that. And also another lesson to take from this is that you're able to do things quickly. Sometimes we'll procrastinate. We need to rearrange the living room or fix it, and we think it's going to take forever. She did this in a snap, and Laurie respected her for it. Life-changing homemaking secret number 5 is that a humble home can feel rich with love. So look at Laurie, for example. He is very wealthy. He doesn't want for anything, but he doesn't have a mother, and he lives with his grandfather. Even though he lives in the lap of luxury, he actually envies the March girls and their humble home and the love that they have there and the mother that they have to look after them. So it says here on page 50, "I haven't got any mother, you know." And Laurie poked the fire to hide a little twitching of the lips that he could not control. Laurie was sick and lonely, and feeling how rich she was in home and happiness, she gladly tried to share it with him. So even though materially he is wealthier than they are, she's trying to share her home richness with him. Now this parallels The Secret Garden a lot. Do you remember that? Where Mary Lennox envies Martha, the maid, because Martha has such a rich home life. She has a wonderful mother and a wonderful family and a cozy home, even though Mary Lennox has all the money in the world and lives in a 100-room mansion. So there's so many similar themes in all of these books. On page 57, it goes on to say a little more. It says, "The other lion was the fact that they were very poor and Laurie rich, for this made them shy of accepting favors which they could not return. But after a while they found that he considered them the benefactors. He could not do enough to show how grateful he was for Mrs. March's motherly welcome, their cheerful society, and the comfort he took in that humble home of theirs." So truly, having a beautiful, welcoming rich feeling home is not about money, but the feeling that pervades there, the sense of family. And this is a theme that goes throughout all of the books that I have been reading. Life-changing homemaking secret number 6 is that homemakers need a space in the home that is really, truly theirs. On page 105 in the chapter Experiments, we learn that Marmee has what's called Marmee's Corner. It's a little space in the home that is just hers, it's always tidy, and it goes untouched by the rest of the family. So in this chapter, which we're going to talk about in a minute, they're going through an experiment where Marmee's going away and the girls are going to experiment doing nothing at all. Okay, so it goes on to say, the next morning, Meg did not appear till 10 o'clock. Her solitary breakfast did not taste good, and the room seemed lonely and untidy, for Joe had not filled the vases, Beth had not dusted, and Amy's books lay scattered about. Nothing was neat and pleasant but Marmee's Corner, which looked as usual. There Meg sat to rest and read, which meant to yawn and imagine. So Marmee has a corner in the house that is just her own. So as homemakers, we need that. We need that space, whether it is your closet or your bedroom or a little reading nook or some place in the home where you can go to escape and to have things as you like them, untouched by the rest of the family. Life-changing homemaking secret number 7 is that perpetual idleness is detrimental to the home life. We talked about this with Mrs. Beaton's book of household management, but perpetual idleness, if someone is very slow to do anything, they're just kind of lazing around all day, which I know most of you do not have that problem. We normally have too much to do. But it's good to remind ourselves that all play and no work is as bad as all work and no play. So in that chapter called Experiments, there's lots of things that are going on here with the girls' experiment. They're experimenting with being idle and just having fun and doing nothing but fun all the time. It was astonishing what a peculiar and uncomfortable state of things was produced by the resting and reveling process. The days kept getting longer and longer. The weather was unusually variable, and so were the tempers. An unsettled feeling possessed everyone, and Satan found plenty of mischief for the idle hands to do. So the experiment goes wrong, of course. The house is a complete mess. They're all desperately unhappy, and they conclude that lounging and larking doesn't pay, observed Joe. So the experiment went wrong, and it's good to know that they actually take meaning out of good, strong work. This is the theme that we saw in the Little House on the Prairie books. This will conclude part 1 of the video. Make sure you stay tuned for the next video, which will share part 2 of the 15 life-changing homemaking secrets from Little Women. I hope that you're enjoying this series so far. Don't forget to check out the Chic Society if you would like more from the Daily Connoisseur. Keep calm and remain classy, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.